What are the biggest complaints about InfoChan? We've gathered some responses from Reddit, so we'll be sharing them in this video. Perhaps the biggest complaint about InfoChan is that her character is pointless. This is actually the top comment that I have seen when it comes to InfoChan as a character. Essentially, the argument is that InfoChan does not serve any real purpose in Yandere Simulator. She basically just exists. Reddit user FarPomegranate5537 wrote a comment about this, stating, quote, "My problem isn't that she lacks a personality, that applies to basically every character, but the fact that she serves no real purpose. I honestly think that a tutorial plus the hairdresser are enough." Another user, SourCakeYT, also echoed this sentiment, stating, quote, "I forgot she fucking exists because she has no personality, no major appearances, no cool voice lines or anything." It's funny because if one tries to think about qualities that make InfoChan stand out, almost nothing will come to mind. Well, if a quality does come to mind, it's not one that would be considered good by most people. In addition to this, InfoChan does not serve as more than a guide or tutorial character. She merely guides the player on how to achieve certain tasks in Yandere Simulator. We'll return to this point later. User Lin Yan also wrote about InfoChan being a pointless character, stating, quote, "To be honest, she's kinda useless. All of the things she gave to us, we could just buy in the stores. I know she's probably the journalist's daughter and etc, but like, this is so unoriginal. And if she betrays Ayano because of that, it's just so stupid, like, she got revenge on Ryoba, not on Ryoba's daughter. This is dumb and does not make any sense." This is understandable. If some of InfoChan's services can be bought from other individuals, what purpose does she even serve? Yandere Simulator does benefit from having a tutorial for new players to reference, but InfoChan should not be the entire tutorial for the game. Speaking of tutorials, one complaint fans of Yandere Simulator have is that InfoChan does not serve as anything more than a tutorial character. This one's weird because she's also been referred to as a debug menu, if that makes sense. Reddit user Crazed Grape wrote about this, stating, quote, "It just feels like Chalex abandoned her and turned her into a tutorial. She doesn't have any agency, wants anything, and I don't even know why she's helping Ayano do all of this. She's just a creepy human garden gnome that helps the player and does nothing else." It's crazy because you would think that she'd have a backstory, as she's a character that exists. However, most of InfoChan's actions just revolve around her giving the player instructions. That's not really a good backstory for a character to have, if you can even call it a backstory. It's good that a tutorial exists for Yandere Simulator, but it should not exist in the form of a character. Remember when I said InfoChan has also been referred to as a debug menu? Reddit user Lily the Rockstar posted a comment about this, writing, quote, "She serves more as a convenient debug menu. Most of the items you can get from her are things you can get from around the school, around town, etc. She doesn't provide hints to the player. Instead, she just flat out gives a tutorial that requires no thinking skills. As a plot element, she removes the agency in Ayano's motives. Instead of it being Ayano discovering the rivals on her own and getting rid of them on her own accord, the game frames it as Ayano just blindly going after whatever girl InfoChan directs her towards, which only further strips her of the yandere aspect of her character. Another problem with InfoChan is that she doesn't let the player figure stuff out for themselves. Instead, she directly shares information on how to do certain tasks in Yandere Simulator. For some people, this is something that would make them not like InfoChan. This also creates issue within the lore of Yandere Simulator. InfoChan guiding Ayano on doing anything in-game takes away Ayano's ability to do things herself. Essentially, InfoChan takes away some of Ayano's ability to make her own decisions. What do you think of InfoChan being a tutorial character? Let us know in the comments below. This complaint is one I didn't realize until making this video. Essentially, InfoChan is committing literal crimes through her in-game currency. What do we mean by this? Reddit user Needleworker wrote about this, stating, quote, "If we put aside that everyone is 18 or older BS, she's literally selling CSEM, since all the penny shots are from underage girls and are taken and sold without their consent. Doesn't matter that she's also a minor, it's still a crime even if she tells Ayano to do it for her. I also don't like how much of her behavior reminds me of the allegations. The idea of InfoChan being a criminal is not that surprising, especially considering the nature of what she does. However, the specific type of crime explained by Needleworker is a very problematic one. If one were to think about the concept behind InfoChan's currency, it becomes very clear that they are inappropriate pictures of minors. Possessing this type of material will be considered a crime in the real world, so that makes her currency a whole lot worse. Needle's point about InfoChan's age not meaning anything is a pretty important one, as it also applies to real life. In summary, InfoChan's preferred currency has been deemed problematic by fans of Yandere Simulator. One complaint about InfoChan that I find pretty interesting is that she does not fit within the story of Yandere Simulator. Essentially, the argument is that InfoChan's character doesn't fit well within the universe of the game. She could be removed from the game, and its plot would not be affected. Reddit user Baba Baba Ye talked about this, writing quote, "She fit into the game back in the day, but now the story seems so full that she doesn't really fit into anywhere clearly anymore. Now that Ayano has a family of murderers and even a family friend hairdresser who gives her advice, is there really a need for InfoChan anymore if you're not a new player? Don't get me wrong, I loved InfoChan when I was younger and would still like to see her in the game, but she's one of the biggest examples of Yandev wanting everything in his story without considering how it would flow narratively. She almost has no impact on the lore and can be erased from Ayano's world without changing anything. I wish that Yandev would just confirm her as the journalist's daughter already so that she can be relevant without being some creepy maybe lesbian who uses penny shots as currency. This complaint is understandable, considering the amount of lore that Yandere Simulator has. Since basically anything that could be asked has been explained in-game, where can InfoChan even fit in? Every one of her traits can be seen elsewhere in the game, so we don't really need to go to InfoChan to do a majority of the tasks. She's pretty much rendered obsolete within the game's universe. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. One more complaint about InfoChan that people have shared is her personality being unclear. Specifically, InfoChan's character is somewhat hidden from the player, making it hard to determine who exactly she's supposed to be. Reddit user Stuck at a Roadblock wrote about this, stating quote, "I don't understand what she's supposed to be character-wise. It feels like Dev wanted a Diana Burnwood for his anime girl Hitman game but without the character development and slight bloodlust for no particular reason. I'm starting to buy that InfoChan is the secret antagonist and she's gathering evidence against Ayano theory, because why else would InfoChan's personality, name, and intentions be hidden from us? I can see how the lack of information about InfoChan's character would cause one to think this. Without the necessary information about her being available, it's hard to figure out what kind of person she's meant to be. Of course, she's known to be someone with malicious intentions, but we don't really know anything beyond that. This actually connects back to the first complaint featured in this video, as having an unclear personality could render InfoChan pointless. Do you think InfoChan's personality should be more elaborate? Let us know in the comments below. InfoChan is one of the more well-known characters from Yandere Simulator. However, as time passes, fans have started to notice a lot of flaws with her character. From being deemed pointless to being out of place within the game's universe, InfoChan has definitely become a character of discussion. How would you fix InfoChan and make her become a better character? Write your answers in the comments below. With everything being said, make sure to watch this video next.